Port Charles has been holding its breath. Secrets are piling up, loyalties are fraying, and the emotional temperature in town is hovering somewhere between barely contained and ready to explode. Just when everyone seems locked into their own battles, one unexpected move threatens to tilt the entire balance. On January 14th, Jason Morgan does something no one sees coming, and with one simple invitation, he changes the mood of several lives at once. But this isn't just about a dinner, a meeting, or a polite gesture. This is about timing. About unresolved history. About the kind of presence that can still command a room without raising its voice. Jason's surprise invite sends shockwaves through Port Charles, reopening wounds, stirring old feelings, and forcing characters to confront truths they've been avoiding. And the fallout? It's only just beginning. The atmosphere in Port Charles has been thick with tension. Michael is carrying the weight of betrayals he can't yet articulate. Carly is watching her family with a mother's instinct that tells her something is about to go very wrong. Sonny is trying to hold the line between mob boss and father, between loyalty and regret. Drew is grappling with revelations that challenge the image he's carefully constructed of himself and the people he loves. And Willow. Willow is standing at the center of a storm she may not fully understand. Every conversation feels loaded. Every glance seems to carry subtext. It's in this emotionally volatile landscape that Jason makes his move. Jason, who has spent years being the quiet constant, the unshakable enforcer, the man who shows up when things fall apart, has recently been more of a shadow than a presence. His life has been defined by duty, by loyalty to Sonny, by a code that often demanded silence over sentiment. But lately, something in him has shifted. Perhaps it's the accumulation of losses. Perhaps it's the realization that time is not as infinite as it once seemed. Or perhaps it's simply that he's tired of watching the people he cares about tear each other apart without stepping in. Whatever the reason, Jason decides it's time to intervene, not with fists or firepower, but with something far more personal. An invitation. The word spreads quietly at first. Jason has reached out. He wants a meeting. Not at the warehouse. Not at the coffee shop where business and secrets blend into the background hum. But somewhere personal. Neutral. Almost intimate in its simplicity. The shock isn't just that Jason is inviting someone, it's who he's inviting, and why now. For some, the invitation feels like a lifeline. For others, it feels like a reckoning. Carly is among the first to sense the shift. She knows Jason well enough to understand that he doesn't make social gestures lightly. If he's asking people to come together, it means he sees a fracture that could become irreversible. Her protective instincts kick in immediately. Who is he trying to help? And what truth is he trying to uncover, or reveal? Sonny, too, is unsettled. Jason has always been his right hand, the one who carries out orders without question. But this feels different. This feels personal. It's not about territory or threats. It's about family. About emotional landmines that even Sonny has been hesitant to step on. And then there's the person at the center of the invitation, the one who doesn't yet realize how much their world is about to tilt. If there is one person Jason has always watched with a mixture of concern and respect, it's Michael Corinthus. He's seen Michael grow from a frightened child into a man burdened by impossible choices. He's watched him try to carve out a moral identity separate from the violence that shaped his family. And lately, Jason has seen the cracks forming. Michael is carrying anger, confusion, and a sense of betrayal that he hasn't fully voiced. His marriage, his trust, and his understanding of the people closest to him are all under strain. He feels as though he's standing in the middle of a story everyone else knows the ending to, and he's the only one still in the dark. Jason's invitation may be his way of offering Michael something rare in this family: honesty without agenda. When Michael hears about the invite, his first reaction isn't relief. It's suspicion. Jason doesn't call people together for no reason. What does he know? What does he suspect? And is this meeting going to confirm the fears Michael has been trying desperately to suppress? Yet despite his hesitation, Michael agrees. Because if anyone in this town has ever been a straight shooter with him, it's Jason. Carly can't shake the feeling that she's seen this pattern before. A secret festering. A family fracture widening. A moment when the truth, once revealed, changes everything. Jason's involvement alarms her because it means the situation is serious. He doesn't get emotionally involved unless he believes the stakes are life-altering. And when he does, he tends to be right. She worries about what this invitation could unleash. Old wounds between Michael and Sonny. Buried resentments involving Willow. The fragile piece that has been holding their blended family together by sheer willpower. Carly is torn between wanting to be part of whatever Jason is planning and fearing that her presence might only complicate things. She knows her own history, how fiercely she loves, how quickly she reacts, how easily emotion can become a weapon. And yet, the idea of being excluded from something that could affect her son so deeply is unbearable. Jason's move forces Carly to confront a truth she's been avoiding. She may not be able to protect Michael from what's coming. For Sonny, Jason's invitation carries a different weight. Their bond has always been built on trust and unspoken understanding. If Jason is stepping into family matters, it means he believes silence is no longer an option. Sonny has been trying to hold his world together, his business, his relationships, his role as a father and grandfather. He's been walking a careful line, especially where Michael and Willow are concerned. He knows there are tensions, doubts, and unspoken conflicts simmering beneath the surface. The possibility that Jason might force those issues into the open both terrifies and relieves him. Terrifies, because the truth could shatter what little stability remains. Relieves, because living with half-truths and avoidance has become its own kind of torture. Jason's invitation signals that the era of pretending may be over. Unaware of the full scope of what's unfolding, Willow senses a shift in the air. People are looking at her differently. Conversations stop when she enters a room. There's a heaviness in Michael's eyes that wasn't there before. She loves her husband. She believes in their future. But there are parts of her past, parts of her choices, that she has never fully unpacked. Not with herself, and certainly not with the people who now surround her. Jason's involvement is especially unsettling. He's not someone who deals in emotional nuance or gentle half-truths. He's known for clarity, for cutting through chaos to get to the core. If he's inviting people to talk, it's because he believes something fundamental needs to be addressed. And deep down, Willow fears she might be that something. Drew, too, feels the ripple effect of Jason's decision. Their complicated history, their shared face and fractured memories, has always created a strange mirror between them. Drew has tried to build a life defined by optimism, by second chances, by believing the best in people. But recent events have forced him to confront the possibility that he may have been willfully blind. The idea that Jason is stepping in suggests that whatever is happening is beyond simple misunderstandings. It suggests layers, deception, emotional consequences that could redefine relationships Drew thought were secure. For a man who prides himself on being emotionally intelligent, the possibility that he's missed something crucial is deeply unsettling. When the details finally emerge, the simplicity of Jason's invitation is almost disarming. No dramatic ultimatum, no cryptic warning, just a straightforward request to meet, to talk, to clear the air. But in Port Charles, nothing is ever just a conversation. Every person who receives the invite reads between the lines. Is Jason trying to mediate? Expose? Protect? Is he acting on instinct, or on information he hasn't yet shared? The location is neutral, but the emotional territory is anything but. The time is set. The stage is quietly prepared. And the mood of the town shifts. Where there was avoidance, there is now anticipation. Where there was denial, there is now fear. Where there was fragile hope, there is now the sense that something irrevocable is approaching. One of the most powerful aspects of Jason's move is how it reactivates old dynamics. With Carly, it reminds her of the countless times Jason has been the calm in her storms, the one who understood her without judgment. With Sonny, it underscores their shared history and the unspoken pact that they would always have each other's backs, even when the truth hurts. With Michael, it offers the possibility of guidance from the one man who has never lied to him, even when the truth was painful. But it also threatens to expose fractures that have been carefully papered over. Resentments, misunderstandings, choices made with good intentions that led to unintended consequences. The invitation doesn't just bring people into the same room. It brings their histories with them. As the meeting approaches, each character wrestles with their own unspoken fears. Michael fears confirmation, that his instincts about betrayal, about hidden motives, are right. Carly fears losing control of the narrative, of being unable to shield her family from fallout. Sonny fears that the truth may force him to choose between roles that can no longer coexist. Willow fears that the life she's built could unravel if her past and present collide in ways she can't manage. Drew fears that his belief in transparency and trust may have been built on incomplete information. And Jason? Jason fears that if he doesn't act now, the damage will be far worse later. Jason Morgan has always been associated with power in a physical sense. Strength, loyalty, the ability to enforce consequences. But this time, the power he wields is emotional. By inviting these people to come together, he is forcing them to confront what they've been avoiding. He is changing the tone from whispered speculation to direct engagement, from passive tension to active reckoning. It's a reminder that sometimes the most profound shifts don't come from violence or confrontation, but from the courage to speak and listen. January 14th is not about immediate explosions or dramatic showdowns, though those may come later. It's about the moment before. The intake of breath. The realization that the status quo cannot hold. Jason's surprise invite acts as a catalyst. It doesn't solve the problems, but it brings them into focus. It signals that secrets are nearing their expiration date. That relationships built on partial truths are about to be tested. And in true Port Charles fashion, the emotional aftershocks will ripple far beyond the original participants. A quiet man, a loud impact. In the end, what makes this moment so compelling is its contrast. Jason is not a man of grand speeches. He doesn't manipulate. He doesn't dramatize. He observes, he decides, and he acts. This time, his action is an invitation. And that invitation, simple as it seems, has the power to alter the emotional landscape of General Hospital in ways no one fully anticipates. Because when Jason Morgan decides it's time to bring people together, it's never just for conversation. It's because the truth is ready to be heard. And once it is, nothing will be the same.